y'all, what's shaking? Bacon? No, we're not doing bacon today. LOL. So it is Sunday afternoon. Sunday dinner. What does that mean to you? Around here it means comfort food. And my husband loves this meal. It's one of his favorites. I don't cook it much. Just because it's a little bit of steps and it's a little bit of mess. But it's Sunday, I figured why not. They had some cube steaks on sale. So we're doing country fried steak with white gravy. And I'm going to be frying up some cabbage and potatoes mixed together. And then I'm going to be making some sweet potato biscuits. And I got some cucumber salad in there left over just for a little something cold and a little something fresh. So that is what is on the menu for this Sunday afternoon. What time is it? Evening. It's 6 o'clock, y'all. Time flies on a weekend. Don't you know it? Anyway, we're going to get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and get started with our sweet potato biscuits. So in this bowl, I have 2 1/4 cups of self-rising flour. I have another 3/4 of a tablespoon of baking powder. Just because the sweet potatoes are kind of heavy, so I need a little bit extra leavening agent to kind of lift those up. And then I have got about 1/4 cup, a little bit less than, because I didn't want it so sweet, of dark brown sugar. So now what we're going to do, we have some very cold butter here, and I'm going to cube this just because it makes it easier with the pastry cutter. So I just like to take mine and I cut it in thirds. And then I flip it over and I cut it in half. A longer knife would be better, but the paring knife is what I had next to me, so that's what I'm using. And then I just slice it in about, 1 tablespoon little slices here. All right, then what we're going to do is just kind of break it up in our bowl. Have y'all ever had sweet potato biscuits? Years and years ago. I'll say it was in 1999, 2000, something like that. Ukrops made the best sweet potato biscuits. And I used to work in their meal idea center. So I would go around and whatever was on special in their sale flyer, I would make kind of meals out of some of that stuff, whatever they were trying to promote or push. And I would sample it out. And I got to do whatever I wanted to. Y'all, I got to get this butter off of my hand so I can use the pastry cutter. So anyway, I would just go around and try to figure out a menu, kind of like I do now, to decide what it was that I was going to prepare for the day. And I worked, 5 days a week, so it was a lot of fun. And I decided that I was going to do some country ham biscuits on Ukrop sweet potato biscuits with country ham. Oh my gosh, y'all, it was so good. So I don't fix them much. My husband does not like biscuits. Is he weird, right? He likes flaky layer biscuits, canned Pillsbury. I don't understand it. But I don't fix biscuits a lot because they would just go to waste. And this recipe I actually cut in half just because I know they won't get used. And this is what I already promised Annette, if you're watching, Tabby, Jose, any of y'all, if y'all are watching, I will be making this for my November dental appointment. But y'all will get the country ham. I'm not doing that tonight, but I am making the biscuits. So I should have showed y'all. This is just a pastry blender, pastry cutter, whatever you want to call it. And so we're just putting this stick of butter in here, and we're just cutting it in with this until the butter pieces are about the size of a pea, like a green pea. So I want to work quick because you want your butter to stay kind of in those pieces. You don't want it to be all melty because that's what creates the kind of layers and crevices and all that kind of thing. So once we put in this other mixture, and start to put it on our board. I want to work quick, and you don't ever want to over mix biscuits like, kneading it a whole lot. All right, so I'm going to just lay this right here out the way. Oh, my oven's ready. So I've got my oven on 425. Now in this bowl, I've got 3/4 of a cup of, believe it or not, I'm using my spicy sweet potatoes. If y'all don't know how to make it, go back through my videos and watch spicy sweet potatoes. Because you want kind of a sweet potato puree in here anyway. I already had some left over in the fridge, so that's what I'm using. 3/4 of a cup of those. 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk. I did put 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom and about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. But anyway, here we go. We're going to mix this all in here, all this goodness. Buttermilk, Cheryl Stanley. Buttermilk. It's going to make them all nice and, I don't know, soft, flaky, rise up higher, more tender. Alright, so we're just mixing this together, not much, just until it's mixed. Again, don't overwork it. Can y'all see in here? I'm kind of just folding it in a little bit because I really don't want to overwork it. Right now I'm just kind of scraping the bottom because you know how flour likes to stay on the bottom. Well, we ain't having it. Just kidding. Oh gosh, this smells so good. And I know a lot of y'all have already told me how much you love sweet potatoes. Now tell me in the comments, have y'all ever made sweet potato biscuits, or have you even had sweet potato biscuits? There's a place like on Carey Street. Gosh, I can't remember what it's called. The Fancy Biscuit. It's part of Shindigs. If any of y'all local people have been to Shindigs, well, the Fancy Biscuit makes a sweet potato biscuit, and they put country ham on it, and they put a caramel sauce on top of that. You would think sounds crazy, right? But can I just say it is good? It is good, y'all, but it's expensive. So we're gonna just sprinkle. I should have got my little I don't know what you call it, little mesh sieve strainer, so it wouldn't be so much of this, but I'm going to just try to spread it out. I don't want a whole lot on here, but I don't want it to stick either. I really have too much, but we going to roll with it. Okay, I'm going to try to push some out of the way because I don't want that much. I could just make a mess and get it off my board, but I'm going to make it work, y'all. Y'all know me, I'm all about just making it work. Things don't really have to be perfect. I know in baking things are a little more like, science or whatever, but these are biscuits. It's not like a cake. It's not like something that seriously matters. I mean, it matters a little bit, but it doesn't matter as much. Biscuits are a little more forgiving than some other baked products, okay? So I don't know if y'all can tell the texture, consistency here. It's a little bit, more of the sticky than what regular biscuits would be, but that means it's probably good that I had a little bit more flour on my board. So we're just going to kind of fold this over a couple times. And look, if it gets on your hands and you get a little sticky, it's okay because it's going to come off. Okay, we're just going to fold this a couple times. And I might have to even get a little more flour on here. I could have added a little bit more. So if you want to clean your fingers, you just pull them like this. I washed my hands right before I turned the video on because I knew what I was going to be doing. I don't want to touch my flour bag with all this on me, but I need some more flour. I've never made this with like my spicy sweet potatoes before. So it's just a little bit more wet than if I had just used sweet potatoes. But that's all right, because all we got to do is just get a little bit more flour, and we're just going to work it in. It's probably better if you guys have a little bowl of flour beside you, so you can, you know, work it in if you need to, and you don't have to stop like I did. And go wash your hands. Okay? Again, we don't want to work this too much, but I can't have it sticking to my board either. So, you know what? Hold everything, folks. I got a tool that we need to have over here. Sorry for the start and stops, but this happens with cooking sometimes. You have to feel your way around. That's kind of the art of it, right? Is just working it. It's like, I don't know, it's like a piece of art. Pottery, let's think of the pottery guy. You know how you've seen them, right? You get the whole pot made and all of a sudden it falls over and they have to kind of start over. Well, we're not starting over, people. But I should have had those right tools out already. So now what we really want to do is, with this, you really want to just kind of fold it over a couple times so you're not overworking it. So we fold it once, and this also makes layers. We fold it twice. A little more flour out here. Pat it a little bit, and we're going to fold it again. So now what I want to do is I want to just hold this in my hand for a second, and I want to scrape all this sticky off of my cutting board. Okay? Bring this little paper towel over here and slide it onto there. Did y'all see that little trick? Yes. We're going to get a little bit more flour out here, so when we roll it, it's not sticking everywhere. Okay. It's still very, very tender, y'all. Get this nice Pampered Chef little small rolling pin. I can just see the big chunks of butter in here. So we don't want this too thin, because I want some nice sized biscuits. Alright. So I think this is like a 3-inch biscuit cutter. You probably be better off if you had a 2-inch. But this is what I had, so this is what we're using. I think the rest of, tell me if you can relate, I think all of my biscuit cutters are in the Play-Doh toolkit. Anybody got their kitchen tools in the kids' Play-Doh toolkit? Because I think that's where mine are. But my grandkids love Play-Doh. Well, they're kind of, I guess, right now growing out of it. They're getting a little bit older, so they don't play with Play-Doh as much. But I have different ages of grandkids, okay? So, I'm going to get all this out of the way. And I've got my skillet here with, I put coconut oil on here this time. Okay. That one's got a little piece of sweet potato skin on it. I'm going to have more biscuits than I'm going to have room on my little pan on it. I might end up getting something else. Or just use what I have. And discard the rest, which, I don't know, that'd be a crying shame, wouldn't it? But that filled her up right nice, y'all. You know what I'm going to do with this? I'm going to freeze it. Because, yes, you can freeze biscuit dough, y'all. I'm going to put this little thing right here in a Ziploc bag. I'm going to label it sweet potato biscuit dough. And the next time I make sweet potatoes, I can take this out and thaw it and make some more with this, okay? So, there's our sweet potato biscuits. They're going to go in that oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll see how she rolls out. I usually do it on a higher heat. I usually go about 350. $4.50 on my biscuits. However, the reason I'm not doing it this time is because these have sweet potato in them and they have some brown sugar in them, and I am afraid that the sugars in here with a higher temperature will burn before they get done. So can y'all see them? There you go, sweet potato biscuits, and they are going in this oven, and we gonna set this baby for 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna check it. So I'm gonna get this mess cleaned up, and then we're gonna start with our dinner. All right, so the sweet potato biscuits are in the oven. What I'm gonna do now before I bread the cube steak is I'm going to I've got 3 red potatoes that I sliced thin and a half of a Vidalia onion just sliced up. And then I've got a half of a head of cabbage right here that I just, cored out and just kind of diced up. So we're getting ready to put those in my cast iron skillet with a couple of tablespoons of bacon grease. So let me get those dumped in. So the first thing I'm going to do is just start my potatoes, and I won't put the cabbage in just yet because the potatoes are going to take a little bit longer to cook. So they're going to go in first. Let's see if I can spin y'all around over here. You see my little skillet? And then I'm going to just put in some salt. I'm going to tell you how much when it gets in my hand. Let's say we're going to put in, I don't know, 1/4 teaspoon of salt right now on my potatoes. And then the pepper, that one comes out too slow. I'm going to go for the big boy. And we're going to put about, I don't know, 1/8 teaspoon of pepper in here. Just salt and pepper it to your liking. Okay? So I had turned this down while I was getting the video ready, so I'm going to get it back going. I'm going to just stir this all around in that good old bacon grease. Y'all, hope y'all got your cup. Tell me in the comments if y'all got a cup of bacon grease or a can of bacon grease or some kind of bacon grease, either on your stove. If you use a lot of it, you can keep it out on your stove. If you don't use a lot of it, I would suggest doing what I do and putting it in your fridge. That way it won't go bad and get kind of rancid. That old rancid bacon grease is not good for anybody. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? So in here I've just got some self-rising flour with about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and about 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And in here I've got 1 egg, and I've got about 1 cup of buttermilk. I've got about 1 teaspoon of Frank's hot sauce. You can use Texas Pete, you can use whatever kind you want. And then I've got a little bit more salt and pepper. I didn't measure it, I just shook a little bit in there, okay? So buttermilk, egg, hot sauce, salt and pepper. So the first step is to flour your cube steak, and I did not season the cube steak because my egg wash and my flour are both seasoned, so I don't need to season the meat. So I just put it in here and press the flour on top and just kind of coat it in there. Okay, and then I just take this and I shake off all that excess flour, because I don't want all that flour going right into this egg wash. So then I'm going to take this and I'm going to just soak this down here in this buttermilk and egg. Again, I'm going to just kind of shake it off, because I don't want a ton of this, buttermilk. And then I do the same thing. I just kind of get this flour up on there and just kind of pat it in. And this is, some people, tell me if y'all call it country fried steak or chicken fried steak. What is it where you live? And two, tell me where you're from. Of course, I know my family and all where they're from. But where are y'all from, everybody? Because I've got people following me now that I don't really know. I know some of them are my mom's friend, and they're from all over the world. My mom's got people, I don't know, she got friends, well, all over the United States, but she's got friends in Germany and South Africa, and I don't even know where. So y'all always let me know where you're from. I like to know what part of the country and what y'all call things in different parts of the country. I hear my potatoes over there sizzling, but I think they'll be alright. I'm going to go flip them after I get this one out the pan. So y'all straight on what we're doing here, right? Flour first, then our egg wash, and then flour again. Let me check this out over here. Turn this burner down a little bit and give these babies a flip. That's one thing about a cast iron skillet. They really hold their heat. But once they get hot, it's hard to turn them down really fast. They're going to stay hot for a while, which is usually a good thing. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead right now and dump my cabbage in. But I'm just going to dump it on top. I'm not going to stir it right now. And I'm going to put a little bit more salt and pepper on the top of my cabbage. Because y'all know cabbage does not have a lot of flavor. But it's even better with the bacon grease and with the fried potatoes. Alright, so we got a few more we got to get going here. Alright, we go. Oh! Make a mess, but guess what? I'm the one who cleans it, so if I make a mess, it's on me. What's a little flour amongst friends? Alright, shake this one off. Oh, hold everything, because you know what's beeping? My biscuits. Let's see how they look. Decided to stop y'all in the middle, but I think they need to go for a couple more minutes. They're looking good though, they're looking good. Alright, timer, let's go for 3 more minutes right this minute. Oh, I heard somebody at my house. But I guess not. It must have just been me. I was visiting myself. Alright, get out the way, little fork. Alright, we'll get this one down in here. And we'll get this one floured up over here. See what I mean? It's a few steps to this meal. It's not hard. But it's not something you'd want to probably do on a school night. You know, this is one of those things that takes a little bit more time, a little bit more effort. You know, a lot of people call this a labor of love. My husband knows, usually Sundays, I do a labor of love. And just because I love cooking. This one's probably going to fall back in here because I barely got it on the fork. And if it does, it's going to make a mess. Woohoo! Thank you that you didn't make a mess everywhere. Can you hear that the potatoes and cabbage have kind of settled down? Because that cold cabbage has gone on top now. And so it's keeping the heat of the pan down. Now I don't want these to sit too long because what's going to happen is, matter of fact, let me turn the grease on right quick. I have got peanut oil in here and I'm turning it up to 350. I had preheated it a little while ago, but then I got tied up and I couldn't get over there, and so I turned it back off. You know, life happens, right? Things happen. Our bear, you know, our rescue dog, we're trying to train him to go off the leash because he's been here about 6 weeks. He knows this is his home now. He's not, you know, trying to get back to his other house. He's happy here. He's loving it. Okay, so my camera cut off for some unknown reason. So all I was saying about Bear was he took off. We had to chase him. In the chase, my husband fell. All this, he didn't get hurt or anything. Just went down chasing him down a hill out by the lake. So needless to say, I had to cut my grease off and all that kind of thing. Cause I have a life that happens to it. It didn't just we were by ourselves, empty nesters, but sometimes life happens. So my potatoes and cabbage are almost done. They're just finishing up over here. I got them on a lower heat. I'm using my electric skillet just because I've got a lot of these. They're going to all fit, and I'm going to get them done quick. So I've got it on 350 again. This is peanut oil. So I'm going to put these down in here. And I got a lot of oil in here, so it's not going to take them long. They're almost, they're basically deep frying because they're covered with this oil. So I'm going to probably do them 3 at a time, because you don't really want to crowd a pan, especially when you're frying, because all that steam from the liquid in the meat is going to get in there. Push that little one down. It's going to get in there, and then it's going to become a steamy mess, and all your breading's going to fall off. So it's better to do these in batches. We're going to cook these 3. I'm getting ready to get a pan with a wire rack. I like to take a sheet pan, cover that with foil, and put a wire rack on it. That's what I do for anything I fry or deep fry that's got a breading, because if you just put it on like a plate or a paper towel or whatever, that breading is going to be moist and it's going to start falling off, and you don't want to work this hard to get breading and for it to fall off. So I'm going to pause this for just a minute while I get that tray and rack ready. Okay, y'all, I didn't want to have to bring my tripod over here. So here is our cabbage and potatoes. They're almost done. Basically are done. I'll give them a little bit of last stir here to get all that brown goodness up. Alright, so there they are. And here is the country fried steak. It really only cooks for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. And you can kind of tell, whoa, mama, you can kind of tell because these littler peas, they almost float when they're done. When I worked in a restaurant, of course everything was timed, but one of the foolproof ways of knowing when chicken was done was it floats. And these things are actually floating a little bit on top. So I'm getting ready to pause you guys and grab my pan. See, I just have a sheet pan with a piece of foil and a rack, like a cookie rack on top, and that's going to keep my crust all crispy. So I'm going to pause y'all and grab these 3 out and put the next 3 in, then I'll be back. Okay, so electric skillet is not good to fix gravy in. So I emptied the grease out actually in this pan, and then it left me with all these little drippings and goody things that I'm going to make the gravy out of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple tablespoons of flour and 2 cups of milk, and I've got my burner on. I need to turn it up a little bit, and I'm going to just whisk this right into the drippings right there, and I'm going to make us some gravy for the country fried steaks. So I'm going to get that going, and I'll be back. Alright, so this is, can y'all see this? So this is kind of like a roux. It's going to be a little bit dark gravy just because the drippings were dark. So I'm just, right now, I'm just cooking this flour into the grease that was in here. And we're going to just let that cook to just get that raw flour taste off for about 2 minutes or so. You can kind of see it. It starts looking kind of sandy almost. I know I've told some of y'all this over and over, but there's a lot of new followers out there. Thank y'all very much for following me. That's something I always like to say. Please like my page, share it, follow it, That's how Facebook starts showing it to more people that don't already follow me or that I don't already know. Because the more comments and shares and likes and follows and emojis and all that stuff, they say, oh, people are liking her content. People like what she's doing. Let me show it to more people. So I would appreciate y'all liking, sharing, and commenting for me. Alright, it's starting to kind of bubble up. See, when it first starts, let me kind of show y'all. I'm going to pull you down and flip you around. I'm going to pull you down and flip you around. Y'all don't have to look at my ugly face. Alright, here we go. So you see it start to kind of bubbling up there. Starting to get a little bit dried out there in the middle. But we really want the whole pan to kind of get like that. So I'm not going to bore y'all with watching this do for the next couple minutes. What I really need to do probably is just turn my heat up a little bit so I can get her done. And we can eat. So all of my food, remember I cooked the biscuits in the oven, right? So the oven's been turned off, but it's still warm. So I got all of our food in there staying nice and warm from the residual heat. And it's not getting all yucky while I'm waiting on this gravy. See, those are the little tricks you have to learn is how can we keep all of this warm while this is happening. Alright, I'm going to put y'all back. Sorry to show y'all my dirty mat right there. It wasn't before I spilled flour all over the place. Alright. This is about good here. Just smoking. And she's really smoking just because in the middle of the pan I don't have much. This pan's a little bit too big for this gravy, but it is what it is. It's what we're rolling with tonight. It's going to be just fine. You see, I'm doing this a little bit at a time. Because I don't want lumpy gravy. I might have to get some more milk. I might have to put a little bit. If it's too much flour, you're going to know it's too thick. Then you just go get some more milk out. This milk's been sitting for a little while, so it's not cold because cold milk tends to even make it more lumpy. This might be enough. I might have done good, y'all. It might be working just fine. We'll see, because this still will have to, heat back up, and it sometimes thickens as it's going. I hate that I'm not looking at y'all. I'm really needing to look at what I'm doing for a minute so I don't make a big old mess. Alright, let's see if I'm going to need to get a little bit more milk. I don't know. I think it might be alright, but what I do want to do is add a little pepper, because I like a little pepper gravy. Alright, y'all see, I'm putting it in my hand. I'm not putting it over that steam, so I get my bottle all filled up with steam and grease and whatever it is coming off of there to contaminate all my spices. Y'all sick of hearing me say that? I've had a lot of people say that's one tip that they never knew. That was a good tip for people. It's some of those things we just don't think about as home cooks, because we've, seen our parents and everybody do it, but when you really stop and think about it, because that's not just all steam right there, right? It's some of this grease, it's some of whatever you're cooking, and every time you're shaking, whatever you're cooking is getting in that bottle and contaminating it. Don't run in there and throw all your spices away, it's fine. But if you ever have to bang them because they're all caked in there, that's why, because you probably held it over the steam and it's got it all messed up. Alright, y'all. The gravy is done. Done. I'm going to get my dish towel here real quick and get this milk. No need to cry over spilled milk, right? But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this baby off the heat over here. And I didn't want to pull it across the milk. All right. Gravy is done. I'm gonna wipe this down right quick and I'm gonna get that stuff out of the oven. And we're gonna plate up. And I'm gonna be right back with you as soon as I get everything ready to plate up. Okay, dinner is ready. Can y'all see that? Country fried steak, cabbage and potatoes, some cucumber salad, some tomatoes, and a sweet potato biscuit. Lost one of my tomatoes. I'll grab it though. We gonna just taste it over at the table. My husband's hungry. So we will see y'all at the table. All right, we're sitting down to eat. We're a little bit late tonight, but I have some stuff to do. All right, honey.
Father, thank you for this food we're about to receive. Bless this food, nourish our bodies. Bless the hands that prepared it, and thank you for providing it. Help us less fortune find food and shelter. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Bear, you go away. Go lay down, buddy. Are you gonna be hard-headed again like you were outside? I think you better not. Y'all comment, tell me if y'all got a hard-headed dog. He's really not. He's really a good dog. That's good. Good breading on there. All right. Yes, we're gonna eat. We'll see you back in a little bit. Okay, we are done with Sunday dinner. What say you, Charles?
Well, you can see my plate. It's clean. It was delicious. Another plain liquor, for sure.
Yep. Sunday comfort food, one of his favorites, although, you know, he would have preferred mashed potatoes and green peas with it. However, I've done so many mashed potatoes, I didn't want to do it again. And I needed to use up the cabbage. So, anyway, he still liked it. He liked it because I put the potatoes in the cabbage and didn't just have cabbage. So, anyway, he also finished off the end of the broccoli slaw and said I need to make some more. Y'all gonna have to make that broccoli slaw.
Keep it in the fridge.
They should make some broccoli sauce.
Absolutely. Keep it in the fridge.
All right, y'all have a good night. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.